to add anything to the agenda? I'm going to call the meeting to order. Anyone want to add anything to the agenda? Is there a motion to approve the January 22nd, 2025 agenda as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Great. Okay, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of the December 4th, 2024 meeting minutes, the pending gifts report, the statistical report as submitted?
So moved.
Thank
Second.
you. Second?
Second.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard? Okay, I don't see anyone, so we're going to go ahead. We have a great, starting the year off with a great agenda. Let's begin with Clay. Friends report, please.
Maybe he's tied up. There he is. Hey, Clay.
All right, Ruth couldn't be here today. Good soon be afternoon to all. She passed along a few notes to share. They voted to move their spring book sale to the first weekend of May, so 2nd through the 4th, following the same schedule that had recently, Friday, Saturday, Sunday sales. And the spring book drive will be held Saturday, March 1st. Friends board member has been working on updating the profile as a nonprofit on GodStar. The board is also expecting a report on this at their meeting, which was rescheduled to this evening. And she also says they're expecting to welcome another new board member at this coming meeting. And that is all I have.
Jump right in. I
Thanks,
have a cough. I apologize.
Thank you so much. I want to thank everyone who donated through the Richmond Public Library Foundation during the recent annual appeal time frame. I'm delighted to share the foundation exceeded last year's fundraising efforts, thanks in large part to everyone here. This year, the foundation's focus is on stewardship and gratitude as we seek to increase the number of Richmonders who advocate for or support Richmond Public Library. Related to grants, I'm delighted to share that the Robbins Foundation has generously donated $45,000 in support of the RVA Reads expansion program. This grant funding supports one part-time staff person, as well as book purchases. And as a quick reminder, RVA Reads last fiscal year served a total of 1,577 children with over 13,700 books. If you know a board member or staff member of the Robbins Foundation, please thank them on behalf of the library, the foundation, and youngsters. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. Scott, Library Administration.
All right. We have, to kind of kick off the year, you've asked to meet with a lot of our important managers who are doing lots of good stuff. And I have Jen Dool here, librarian. She had the most votes from you. Hear from her. So she will come and give a presentation for her department, all of the possible. So, read the of our
No, my name is Joel. I'm library community, and that department covers a lot of different things. And so when I was thinking about how to present that to you, without overwhelming you, we decided to kind of put together a bit of a story, an example of how my department works under one sort of initiative or project, and that will illustrate all the different components of the things that we do. And I know you all like a one-pager, so we put one together for you. It's in front of you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you all about Library Card Sign-Up Month 2024, so this last September. I know you all are familiar with sort of the basics of what we did, but I'd like to dive into the specifics to illustrate some of the things outreach and engagement did to help support this initiative and to help make it successful. So the first part of my department that I'd like to illustrate is the system-wide collaboration that we have. We work with literally every department and location within Richmond Public Library system. We serve on all the committees. Someone from my department does. Library Card Sign-Up Month Committee being one of them. We like to really be part of the planning stages from the inception of it. I like to think of us as sort of the glue that connects it all and then connects our library with the outside community too. So we like to sort of have our hand in it from the start. For Library Card Sign-Up Month last year, we really wanted to do something new and exciting. Our focus was on attracting what we like to call future users to our library and have them, of course, sign up for library cards. The idea was thrown out, I think, by our very own Susan Revere to partner with Gelati Celesti on creating a Richmond Public Library flavor and then naming it, and thus the idea was born. By planning this partnership early, which is another thing that our department does, we really drive the timeline for planning, programming, and initiatives within the system. So by starting this planning process in the spring, we were able to highlight our plans over the summer. We had Gelati Celesti be a part of our summer reading finale. We gave people a preview of what was to come, kind of got them excited about what they could expect in September. We also were able to engage the community by having certain library card users participate on the panel, and we were able to crowdsource our patrons for some name ideas. So we were really able to spread out the impact of this initiative over more than just September. Another big part of my department is outreach, and so for Library Card Sign-Up Month, one of the big pushes was to do as much outreach as possible. We set a goal of registering 1,000 new library card users. We ended up surpassing that. We registered 1,290 new card holders just in the month of September. And part of what helps that is that we had each location do 5 outreach events in that month. So it was kind of a historic month for us. We had 45 total outreach events, and we reached a total of over 1,800 people that way. So that was huge. And one of the ways we were able to accomplish that is my department put together outreach kits for each of our locations. Previously, we had 2 that circulated and switched between everybody, so we were only able to ever do 2 events at one time. By putting together kits for every location and an additional few for youth services, outreach department, that sort of thing, we were able to hold up to 9 events concurrently. So that was a big step for us too. We also handle all the promotion of our resources, services, programs at the library. So for this, we carefully constructed marketing materials to match the nationwide theme of libraries more than meets the eye, while tailoring it to how Richmond Public Library specifically was working on this. We developed both print and digital materials, including flyers, posters, bookmarks, social media posts, and for the first time ever, we created a whole web page dedicated to this initiative, which is something that we do for a lot of our big programs and pushes. We create a web page that we can guide people to that really gives all the details on how they can get involved and participate. We also had the idea of developing a sticker that, and you can see this on your handout, I got my library card today. It was in the vein of the I voted stickers. Of course, it was an election year last year. I know a lot of the localities were having their own special I voted stickers, so we wanted to jump on that bandwagon. And the added bonus of that was everybody that got a library card got a sticker and then became sort of a walking billboard for us in the city. So that was kind of cool too. We have also begun really pushing press releases to our press contacts, print, radio, TV. So that was something we did here too. Gelati Celesti sweetened the deal by hand delivering some ice cream along with that. So that was a great added idea, and it earned us a feature on Virginia This Morning with Kristen Lowers. So Scott and Ripple were able to interview with her, which was great. And the last sort of piece that I'd like to highlight with my department are our interactions and relationships with community partners. For this particular initiative, Gelati Celesti, of course, was a big partner. It was a new partner for us. Not only did they supply the ice cream, the tasting panel, the naming process, they also gave us free scoop bookmarks for anybody that signed up for a library card that month. And I will say personally, that pushed people over the edge at a lot of the events that I was at. If they were wavering, I said, you get a free ice cream scoop if you sign up for a library card. Okay, that's all it took. So that was awesome. We also work with Richmond Public Schools. That's something we do every library card sign up month. We create registration cards that we send to them, all their preschools, all their elementary schools. Every student gets one. They take it home, they bring it back to the school. We go ourselves pick those up, create the cards for them, hand deliver them back to the school librarians. So it's all a very personalized process, continuing the relationship with those schools, also ensuring that we have more students with cards. So that was another thing that we continue to do. New this year, we filmed a reel on Instagram with Judy Dykeman and the Lit Limo, which was kind of fun. So they tagged us, and we had a little bit more reach on social media that way too. And finally, by having all of our locations have these 5 additional pop-ups, we developed a lot of new community contacts that have then become future sites for us to conduct outreach, possibly have partners for programming to provide services. Stella's is a great example of this. I know Danielle has done continued outreach there in Southside, and we have other ones as well where we now have a new place to go and have a tabling event and sign people up for cards. So this is sort of an illustration of all the things we do in my department, and we take this for each initiative and we do something similar. Hopefully you all are seeing that on your end. I'd love to answer any questions you have about this or anything else that we do.
Well, library sign up was such a win, and I didn't realize all the pieces that went into it until I heard you. Good job.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Questions?
Well, thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'd
Thanks,
like to
Jen.
say kudos for the number of signups. And
Oh, thank you.
that is a great job.
Thank you. We'll have to set it even higher next year.
So Haley's not able to make it
Okay.
today. I think I don't know if anybody noticed, but Belmont Branch is running a cat cafe.
Yes.
So
yeah.
that was a big hit yesterday, and it's continuing today. And Haley was a little shorthanded today, and she's not able to come and give her presentation. So we'll reschedule her in the future because I really want you to hear what she has to say. She has some very clever ideas, as you
does.
can hear from the cat cafe, and also lots of exciting things happen in our Belmont Library. So we'll reschedule her for
Okay.
another time this year.
Okay.
So,
Well, I was wowed by Jen, so.
yeah, Jen did a great job.
That was really good.
I love the sweeten the deal.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, super good.
I have to say that definitely our library card sign-up month was a project that we talked about 2 years ago, and it was something we identified as a way to really connect our library to the community. And I put this forward to a team with Lisa Chrisman, and Jen was on the committee, and staff really did a wonderful job of developing a program that hit all the different key things that we wanted to do, connecting users, putting library cards in their wallet, but also connecting us to the community, a partnership with Gelati Celeste, enabled by the foundation. So it hit many of the things that we needed to do, and so I appreciate Jen bringing that forward. And she and her team, Phil's on her team, and Josh is on her team. Josh is our graphic artist. Phil is our website overseer and also our master of technology. So with her team, I'd love to see it grow because there's more outreach and engagement that she can do. And Jen has a lot of ideas and brings a lot of enthusiasm and really dedication to the job. So she and her team just do a fantastic job. So I'm happy to hear her do it. So thanks for all you do.
Okay, the next issue is advocacy, and I'm going to talk for Sharon and I, and just kind of run through where we are. We have begun to schedule new counselors to visit their libraries. Janet Woody was able to have Counselor Abu Baker go look at Westover Hills. We have several others in the works that we've never done that before. This is a great practice. Next, all of you sent out your first email to your assigned counselor talking about the library's response to the water crisis. Really well done. I love the way everybody tailored theirs, made it personal, and I thought we got a pretty high response rate, which was even better. So that's underway. So visits, first emails. The next thing Sharon and I want to talk to you about, and I'm going to describe something, but it's absolutely in draft stage. So comment on, suggest how we move forward. We want to continue the monthly touch to counselors. I find most effective is to sort of have a template. So when they see your name, they know what to expect. It builds trust, it builds a relationship. So I mocked up, got Sharon's advice, a template. I'm going to talk it with you. You tell me when we should go in a different direction. If you, like Emily has a good relationship with her counselor. If she knows he would like something different, yeah, you're in charge. We're going to use the insight each of us has to make this go well. We will generally have our monthly touch be an email, but it's good to mix it up. And we'll have a couple situations where I'm going to encourage a quick phone call or at critical points, a meeting. But mostly it's going to be easy, not a burden on you. Here's what I'm thinking. You start with, hi, I'm your library, something like library trustee for district such and such. And use words like your, so that it's, I'm only talking to you. Opening. First paragraph is about what's going on in the libraries in that counselor's district or abutting that counselor's district. And Sharon and I decided we're going to put that on you. In your board packet, there's data, there's stories of customer responses. Pick something that is, if it's Emily, we know it's West End and Belmont. Just pull something. If you don't have a good idea, my gosh, our branch managers, our community managers know exactly what to say. And it's fine if it echoes their email to that counselor. Hearing something twice, as those of us who are parents and have had children know, is not a bad idea. So your first is personal, just based on what their libraries are doing. Hopefully that will get in their newsletter. The second paragraph, Sharon and I will give you a draft of, and that's what's going on system-wide. And for example, February is Black History Month. So we will say what you'll see throughout the system is a number of different initiatives involving Black history, and we'll give a couple examples. So person targeted, first paragraph, second paragraph, system-wide comment. Third paragraph, Sharon and I will also give you some ideas, will be what can I do for you? What do you have any questions? Are there things you'd like to see from your library system you're not seeing? Would you ever consider hosting a meeting in your, we will come up with suggestions, but it's the, we want to listen to you. We're not just feeding information. We're an open book. We want to hear from you. And then I would like, now in part, I'll warn you, I'm a bit of a corny person, but I would like a closing statement we all use. And that closing statement, I don't know what it is, but it could be yours in community. Just something warm, they identify we're on the same page, yeah, I'm with community too. Yeah. Non-offensive, but again, begins to be the soft, build the bond type touch. So the big question is, what do you think of that template pattern? That seem like a good thing to start with?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, we're going to keep it short. No, when I say a paragraph, it's probably 2 sentences. We're going to keep it short so that, again, they're happy to open it because they know it's not going to involve thinking. It's just going to be involved useful, friendly information. Okay, so the February, Sharon will be sending you out paragraph 2 and 3. If you can all think through the close. Yours in community is our backup, but there is something more targeted out there, and I don't know what it is.
I like yours in community, because one of the things I learned from Jennifer's talk was, one of the things I wrote down was, libraries are community engagement centers for lifelong learning. So you're picking up on the community
Okay.
and trying to engage the community, I think is a great closing.
Okay. Well, if you can improve upon that, I would welcome it. If not, we're going with yours in community. And if we all use it again, it adds a little, all trustees stand for the same thing, and we do have things we stand for. And it's this library system, and it's this library system serving Richmond, Virginia. Questions on advocacy?
Great.
Good job, everyone. You all worked more than I did this month, and well done. Emily, policy.
I'll say that our review is underway in earnest, but no update of details
Okay.
yet, but soon.
Oh, I might add, does anyone have anything they want to say about their advocacy comments? We jump back.
Your email that you provided us to use there was a wonderful base, easy to work with, and I think it did help keep that consistent message to everyone.
I thought everybody tailored it so nicely. I mean, it just, yeah,
it
I
still
was
kept us
enormously happy.
on target.
And we got up what I consider to be a pretty high response rate, so. Okay, board committee reports. Chairman report, that's me. Let me thank you, Scott, during the water crisis, and your librarians who distributed water. That was during a time of crisis, a willing response, a skilled response. Everyone in the library system who helped with that, know the Board of Trustees really appreciated it. The one thing Scott told me about the many great things our library system did during the crisis was at Broad Rock, we had our Spanish-speaking librarians out there.
We have her right here, Heather McGinley.
Heather, and that was enormously important for all of our Hispanic community who came to get water, but was not quite sure what was going on and what to expect. They were there to provide information, to do so in a welcoming, everybody, we're happy you're here manner. And that's sort of the ethos, I think, of the library. So they're super well done. So my only comment is, wow, the library system really, really delivered during a crisis.
For-
Okay,
For them
next,
to have,
finance. Oh.
depended on the library was a phenomenal thing. And, you could see the backdrop was so perfect, and the walk of Dr. Vulu through the, glass of water, I thought it was comical, but it would serve its purpose. But I do want to say a shout out to the custodial and maintenance staff at the libraries doing this, because I know people who went to the library to get warm, and when they didn't have lights or water, and they had no problem parking, getting there, doing what they needed to do the days that they were open, and even through the crisis, the custodial and maintenance staff should get a shout out.
Yeah. If I could just add, I'm really grateful because that morning of the 7th, because it all kicked off on the 6th, we found out in late afternoon, and I think people who live in the fan, their water started coming off Monday afternoon, and it was full-blown crisis at that point. And we had to close down. That morning, I reached out to Clay, and Clay got in touch with Heather and Lisa, and they responded and showed up at the branch and got the door open. We didn't know when the water was going to come.
Yeah.
And they had to push out hundreds of pallets of water as fast as possible because nobody had any. The water cleared out about Monday night at about 10 p.m. So everybody was without. And so I have to applaud Lisa Chrisman, Heather Montgomery, Clay, Jonna, Cheryl. I want to make sure I get some of the key people who really came out and stepped up. Ben Himmelfarb. We activated the EOC, and it was just, it's probably been the biggest crisis I've seen activated in the EOC since I've been here. We've had hurricanes and we've had blizzards, but this was one that affected pretty much every resident of the city.
Yeah.
And it was a situation that was a little bit different because there was no cleanup. A lot of times when you have a hurricane or a blizzard, you're cleaning streets or you're taking up trees. And a hurricane is a Dominion situation. They're getting the power back on, and that's a constant back and forth with Dominion. But this one was different, and we had to develop and do things that hadn't been, we thought about them, but we'd never done them. And so they had to activate pods, which is a point of distribution, I quickly learned from the EOC people. And our branch managers and library staff stepped to the plate. We had staff who were dealing with their crisis at home come in and help out, distribute water, and so it really made a difference. Hopefully we learn from this and we go forward and we don't have this happen again. So, but I'm very grateful for all the staff. I'm grateful for the board to have the support and the community to that we were able to serve in this beyond books, right? So Susan helped us come up with a pretty good thing that we distributed. Books and water bottles, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so books and water bottles is
I stole
what
that for
we were
our
doing.
email. Yeah,
So-
it was so good. Yeah.
So, again, grateful for staff, thankful for what they were able to do and that we were all able to get through it together, so.
Quite a start to 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other comments on water crisis? All right, Bill, over to you and finance.
Okay, I don't have a lot to say on finance today. You saw the report is in there. We're pretty much tracking pretty much to the budget. Scott and I were just talking a few minutes ago, and some of the variances you'll notice in there are outside of our control, primarily the ones dealing with benefits, the retirement things and so on. That's running higher. We don't have control over how we spend the money. It's a percentage in the city, so that'll probably need some adjusting as we go. Security is running a bit high. That's also one that somewhat limited, and we have to do there. Scott has plans to shift some funds around in the future to deal with that as we go. And we haven't started really talking about what the ask will be for the coming year yet. I think that's sort of the next thing on the list, and then coordinating with Chris and Sharon on that a little bit for the future communications. But everything looks good right now, I think, as far as the budget, operation-wise.
Right. I mean, we're tracking real well on our monthly finances. If you recall, it was back in October when we put in our request for 2026 budget. And Mayor Avula they usually do the budget announcement around March 6th. So we've got another almost 60 days to get there. And the one thing that I have gotten questions on is we requested $1 million to purchase a mobile library and establish an outreach group. So hopefully that can remain in the budget. But at this point, there aren't any real concrete statements we can make on the budget because they're still developing it. And Mayor Avula just got here, so we'll see where it's at. So that's all I can provide on the budget, but that's where we're at right now.
Any questions on finance? Okay. Facilities. Gail, can I put you on the spot?
Yes, you may. There's a separate handout for you. This is in response to Bill's comment at the last meeting about wanting a little more detail about, for advocacy about maintaining our buildings. And there are three major areas. One is ADA compliance. The building doesn't, isn't in compliance with the current ADA code. We do have a ramp. It doesn't meet current level grade requirements and things like that. Also, we've had comments from people with disabilities about lighting levels and ventilation, those kinds of things that impact their needs. The mechanical systems, we've been through that a lot, including total breakdowns, but heating, cooling, electrical require a lot more maintenance and expense because of their age. I think there's a water replacement, something, the tank or something's being replaced, though? Isn't there something happened recently?
Boilers, we've had to replace all of our boilers. So
Boilers.
That was last summer.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, so little by little, but still, we're not up to current speed. One of the big things that recurs a few times a year is the flooding in the basement from stormwater overflowing, after heavy storms. And that certainly impacts this level, including our valuable special collections room. So that's been a need that's been required to be kept on top of by the library, and always surprises. Obviously, it's not on an agenda other than walking in and having that problem in front of you. So those are a few things
Thank you.
that you can pass on when people ask about it.
And the other thing we're working on is that facilities report. So this month, I've had meetings at every branch and have a PowerPoint. So it's part of the survey that we're doing of branch staff. So we want to get input from our library, our folks in library, our library staff, in what they're identifying as potential needs, and taking that feedback and putting it in the report. So once we conclude that, then we're going to go on to do community meetings at every location. So we'll have the public invited to share what they would like to see in our libraries at every location, reminding them that our priorities are Belmont, Westover Hills, and East End as libraries to get renovations. Also keeping the main library on the front burner.
Right.
We have the master plan in place, and so it's our opportunity to advocate for it, to get it into the CIP and make the needs and issues aware with that. And then lastly, I think one of the early obvious things coming out of the report is we have a nice map of the city, and we're seeing voids in where we don't have libraries, and we have lots of people. And simply put, north of the James, we have 5 libraries that are serving pretty much half the city. South of the James, we have 3 libraries. There's a little bit of we're not able to, we're probably not meeting the demand of those users in Southside. So always use the example of Broad Rock. The front door is in the 8th and the back door is in the 9th. And so they're a library that is serving about 60, 70,000 people. And so that's kind of almost oversubscribed. So it helps us kind of demonstrate that case. And I think it will be a result that will help us going forward in making cases and also explaining that, yeah, we need an outreach vehicle. That's why we've asked for that $1 million in the budget. But also, what else can we do? Can we do a satellite library? Are there partnerships that we can utilize and do pop-up libraries or
Right.
bookmobiles? So I think it helps us demonstrate where there are needs that we can fill that our facilities aren't able to do right now. So that really is the main intent and hope goal of that report. So we continue to work on it. We'll keep going.
What's the timing?
It's been delayed. I was hoping to have more of it done by the end of this month, but it's going to take us longer to get that
Okay.
feedback. And we'll have a draft, I'm hoping, in the next 60 days.
Okay.
Are we
Any
sending
comment?
any communication or any information to Dr. Avula?
Yeah, I've had a meeting with him. I've talked about some of our needs and issues to make him aware. It's kind of really just a beginning conversation, so providing him more information and his team more information as they go forward. It's been a pretty quick start for him, and he's had some other issues, so we'll continue to keep that open and provide more information. So we have begun that, just like we've begun the conversations with our council people, we'll continue to do that.
And it's a spectacular opportunity. We'll all only have this one shot at a new mayor, a new staff, and several new counselors, so that we're all working on highlighting all the things that we do. I was telling Scott, we need to have good offerings to begin with. If we don't have good offerings, well, forget it. But we do, and we have great people. But now it's up to all of us to make sure everybody knows it. It's a magical time. All right. Gail, anything else you want to tell us?
Well, one somewhat related, with Heather here, I had a text from a friend who took a picture of the sign-up table at Broad Rock, sent it to me, said, "Impressive!" exclamation point.
Go, Heather.
So, yeah, thanks, Heather, for giving me that promotional opportunity.
Go, Heather. Yeah. Say, put that on your Facebook page or your Instagram or your TikTok or whatever. All right. Governance. Garrett.
Good afternoon, everyone. No particular report today, but we'll have something to update at the next meeting.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, God, I didn't think we were going to whiz through things like this. Unfinished business. Nope. New business. Okay, this is our one gift, a quick meeting. Remember when we're working right up to the time limit. But thank all of you. Thank all of our library staff for everything that they do. And Scott, always thank you. Meeting is adjourned. Do I need a motion to adjourn? I bet I do.
No, you don't.
I don't? Is everyone ready to go?
Sure.
Why not? Okay. See you all. Let me see when my next meeting is. The next meeting is February 26th, and we're going to be